Pulse oximeter tests, a semi-in-depth look at 6 models. Even if you did consider buying one, you should only need one, so we've tried to take the guesswork out of a minor purchase, but an important decision. It's only a minor purchase in monetary terms compared to a flat-screen TV or phone, but knowing whether you're safe if the government gives the go-ahead for this kind of approach is kind of significant. Plus, if you've got kids, you want to know that you're getting a model that works for them too, and ironically, the absolute best choice in my beloved's eyes is a kid's model that doesn't work with kids. Go figure. Naturally, it probably does work with kids, or even most kids, but there's a slight cause for concern, and that means that we make you aware of it, and then you decide, and maybe give us your feedback based on experience. I've now received 6 different pulse oximeters, and have done a quick test to answer one simple question: do they agree? And for the impatient, here's the numbering system we're going to use for them, and their names, model numbers. Notice that 3 are all CMS 50 variants, and we'll go full screen for a snapshot if you like. And here's the names and links, and I'll put the links in the video description, and just remind me if I forget. I say a quick test, but it got rather more in depth than I'd intended. Let's jump to the conclusions then, and do reasons later. Here's the models I've tested, chosen because they were available for Prime or quick delivery, and generally therefore costing around £40 each. You'll probably get equally effective monitors for £10 or so from Amazon, AliExpress, Banggood, not so much, or eBay, but with likely delivery times in the 20 to 40 day mark. That should not be material in the grand scheme of things. One thing I'd have to point out, if you can get the same device for £10 in June delivery and that works for you, great. If it's not the same device, then you lose one benefit of the reviews, which is that we've calibrated these. You know that Model X is generally 2 points below and Model Y is often 1 point above. With a different model, you don't know that. We do know that generally they all agreed, with the exception being 2 below, so whatever you buy, you're unlikely to have a device that's out by more than 1, which shouldn't be material, but it's really up to you. Another point while I remember, we quite often in our testing both found, my beloved Gamely joined in, that occasionally you'd get a disaster reading, 84 for example. Take your finger out, put it fully back in, and press the button again. Voila, 97 or whatever. Our neighbor at 90 retested at 98. Far more likely to be a device error than a real situation. If you did get a consistent reading of e.g. 93 and were concerned, a simple way to test. Try someone else. Notice you're giving someone a potentially virus-ridden device, so official compliance probably would be violated, and I've no idea what would be sensible cleansing procedures. You might have to take a view, but hopefully you'll have family members to try this. Try someone else, see if they get, for example, 97, typical we're finding, then try again for yourself. Try a different finger. And if you have small fingers, that's an issue, as we've discovered. The point is not to panic, but work methodically, and then if you're clear that you're still getting low readings, now you're informed, now you can start asking questions of medical professionals. That's their job, not ours. Likewise, if you get a high normal reading 97, that doesn't mean that you're scientifically proven to be immune to get your cape on and go save the world. You're still personally responsible for your actions. I'm merely pointing out as a techie some obvious characteristics of these devices and the relevance of interpreting their readings and dealing with inaccurate readings. Bottom line, they're duty devices appropriate for general health monitoring anyway, and at £10 for 20 to 40 day delivery or £40 for 1 to 2 day delivery, they ain't an Xbox. Have fun, stick your finger in, press the button, and hey, look at that, 90x. Fun, perhaps even reassuring. Then watch this space. Ironically, the first thing I'm going to do after finishing this video, 9 hours later, still working on it, make that 12, is do a video showing this isn't necessary. Just the stats for age and pre-existing conditions are enough, or should be. But hey, another string to our bow, and a healthful little gadget anyway. Frankly, a great deal of fun. Last, while I recall, with both humour and serious element, I bought an ozone generator supposed to cleanse the environment, but the main interest is that it leaves an ozone-rich, which is bad, then oxygen-rich, which is good, environment. Ozone O3 is an irritant and harmful, all that loose extra oxygen versus oxygen as we think of it, O2. But hey, it's extra oxygen. So the moment the machine arrived, I pumped our spare bedroom full of it for an hour, waited 15 minutes, and went in. Now you're supposed to wait 30, and that's only to go in to open the window, and then another 30. But hey, this is an opportunity to experiment. Don't do this at home. Normal heart rate 57, it's doing 89, and my blocks is 97. Into the room, deep breaths for 5 minutes, no noticeable irritation other than nothing happening, and blocks goes to 99, up 2. Cool. Notice it works by light and blood coloration or some such, so it's not reading the O3 in the air. Meantime, my pulse goes to 100, 110, 120. The duty pot starts wailing like a nuclear alert, and I run from the room laughing to go tell my wife, who, being on a conference call, isn't impressed. That wasn't the O3, most likely, just me knowing I was doing something highly irresponsible, but hey, it was fun, but wondering if I was going to keel over any minute. Bottom line, amusing and not absurdly expensive gadget, but not sure it'd be worth it as a treatment, even using the more sensible high O2 aftermath, just to get 2 points on the gizmo. Next up, ordering an O2 generator with mask and cannula, and we'll see what that does. Like I said, fun gizmos that get my adventure side working, and sooner or later someone's going to ask, fine, but what if I do have low blocks? What can I do about it? One answer is deep breathing, an already healthful exercise. Another is go seek medical advice. That's what they're there for. But I am curious as to whether O2 generators can actually boost O2, as in our lungs, and I'm dying to see the gizmo go over 100%. And contrary to an informed viewer's perspective, there's no reason why it can't go over 100%, which is actually what they call 6%. If blocks can go over 6%. If it can't, fine, we're stuck below 100, and the device may also be capped at 100. Sad if so. But hell, I can't help wondering. We'll let you know. Meantime, back to the POCs, or POMs, perhaps a little less unfortunate. The 6 models comprise 1 child-friendly version, top left, and 5 adult versions. The clear winner for us, my beloved and myself, is the child version, except the only one unsuitable for children is the child version. Bizarre, but there you go. I'll cover that in more detail later. As it happens, they mostly do work using our substitute children, little fingers, but my beloved naturally managed to expose every flaw in them. She's been doing that to me for years. As adult devices, they mostly work absolutely fine. I wouldn't be concerned about purchasing any of them, but we do have some feedback. As to what we're testing, the key elements are that they give consistent readings themselves, and that the readings agree with the consensus of others. There's no point in having a device that says 85 one moment and 102 the next. We also want a device that is reliable in the sense that it doesn't overstate or understate the real figure. This is where it gets a bit problematic. Here's the whole world saying lockdown works and me saying it doesn't. I believe in this instance that one person is right, but what does that mean here? One device, top right, number 3, consistently understates the figure by about 2. The rest say 97, it says 95. Now there are several points to make about that. First, it may be right and everyone else is wrong. But without a scientific laboratory-grade analyzer to calibrate the results, how can we know? And more importantly, does it matter? If the industry standard for calibrating mile per gallon figures is used by all manufacturers, but Jensen Healy, if they still exist, prove that the figures should be 5% lower, should we turn the industry upside down? Or do we shrug and say, okay, we know the industry figures are optimistic, but it gives me a reasonable idea. Here, even if the top right is accurate and the rest are wrong, the rest are consistently wrong, and we can work with that. It's like magnetic north and true north. Pilots know to adjust from magnetic north a few degrees to point to true north. It's not much until you fly a few thousand miles, and then it's a lot. So if the true safe level, which of course is just an approximate figure, like safe speed limits, go figure, is 95% blocks, blood oxygen, officially SpO2, but blocks is easier, and devices tend to state 97% when they should state 95%, what do? If 95% true is safe, and the device says 97% at 95% true, then we say if your device says 97% or higher, you're safe. And the very concept of safe, of course, needs to be understood. We're discussing numbers here, not medicine. So A, it's excellent to calibrate, and the top right remains a good device, but the consensus figure that the government will likely use may well be based on the market figure, not the true figure. Or it may not. Bottom line, as long as you understand that point, you'll understand the pros and cons. For want of any better reference, we suggest that we'll go with the consensus, several of which are later models from the same manufacturer. The next point, B, is better safe than sorry. If the device says you're 95 clear when you're 90 not clear, that's not good. If it says you're 90 not clear when you're 95 clear, at least you're warned of a non-existent problem, not unaware of an actual and real problem. So how are we going to do this test? We're going to start with asking what's the consensus, and then we're going to say how well a device agreed with that. Now, since we've already noticed that top right, number 3, typically understates our blocks SpO2 by 2, we're going to kick that out of our consensus, our average. We already know it ain't in it. Bear in mind, this is very early. It is a long way from being officially recognized by science, let alone having policy being determined by it. Treat it as curiosity and a review for a duty device that might be fun and handy anyway. Like I said, these particular 6 were around £40 based on Amazon Prime delivery, so I could get them fast and test them fast. You may get identical models for £10 from AliExpress. Right, onwards. First job, do some tests, 2 runs for each of me and my beloved. Basically, receive product, stick batteries in, stick finger in, press button, 30 seconds later, you get a number. That's it. End of lockdown, we hope. Here's our slide on that in case you want to share it and get the message out. Now, I also ordered a watch shown for entertainment. It generated a value of 96, a fraction under my top left first arrival and fave, number 1 in both senses of the word, at 97 at the point of test. Personally, I don't see the point of a watch-style item for the sole purpose of blocks and knowing you're healthy with respect to blocks at least. Blood oxygen, my shorthand, SpO2 officially. If you're into gyms, etc., you'll be able to research and may already have such a monitor on a device you own. You may even find an app available for your phone using your phone camera as a POM, pulse oximeter. I downloaded a few, managed to get precisely none of them to work, and yes, I do have 40 years of IT experience, thank you, before the support desks out there cite user problem. Maybe it was user problems, but I wasn't inclined to waste more than a few minutes investigating something I didn't need. If anyone has a good app, let us know or make a video to get it out there. It all helps. Indeed, you're adults. Do the research, consider the various elements, cost, relevance, non-bias relevance, likelihood that government will issue them anyway for free, etc., and make an informed decision. As with the charts, you could have done those yourself, mostly. But hey, no problem, just doing my best to help out. So here we go, 2 runs, mine first, then 2 runs from beloved. Remember what we're not testing. We're not comparing run 1 to run 2 for the same device, though we'll glance at it for sanity check, i.e. make sure it doesn't look bizarre and flag a problem. As it happens, we did the runs within minutes, but in theory, I could be burning blocks doing work, and so a declining number would not mean a faulty device. 97 to 87 would mean either a faulty device or unbuggered. Top number, run 1, second number, run 2. Reading devices 1 to 6, 98, 98, 96 over 95, 98, 98 over 97, plus 98, 99 over 98. What? Let me simplify that for you first off. Top row, 1 to 6, 98, 98, 96, 98, 98, 98. Wow, that's great, and we're done. 5 devices agree, 98. 1 is too low at 96, number 3. So by any of the devices, except I suggest you choose 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6, not 3. But hey, appearing to be too low is cautious, it's safe, so go ahead, no problem with any of these. And that is really that, a perfectly valid top level just want an answer. You could buy any of these and be fine. But I personally suggest not number 3 until someone gives me a reason to change that. It might also be worth noting that number 3 is the earliest CMS50D of the 5 out of 6 CMS50 models that these represent. It seems that whatever they are called on Amazon and whoever sells them, this is the Ford of pulse oximeters. And as the earliest, maybe it really is lower by 2, and the later models are refined and more accurate. So another legitimate and plausible reason to avoid number 3. The other models are later models by their model numbers. Back to subtleties. What does 96 over 95 mean? It means the device oscillated before settling on 95, maybe started at 96 and went to 95, or went 96, 95, 96, 95. So the figure was close to 95.5, and it took a moment to decide which. That's not a flaw, and it would be perfectly reasonable to say that 96 over 95 is 95.5. For very particular coders, we could write 96 vertical bar 95, which means 96 or 95. But hey, 96 over 95, lazy, convenient, perfectly adequate. 98 over 7 plus 98 is 97.5, oscillated between those values, settled on 97, plus a second reading from a second device. Yep, yet again, I ordered something and what I got was different, a duplicate of number 5. Whatever, it allowed us to check for consistency between different devices that are the same model number. No copper cup is ever wasted. Second run, devices 1 to 6, 97, 97, 95.5, 97, 97 plus 97, 98. Pity about the 98, but hey, excellent consistency except number 3 again. So we can immediately see not only that different devices, including the non-CMS50, number 5, give the same result close enough. That's good news. In fact, since there was nothing special about our choosing these, other than that they were readily available for fast delivery, we can suggest that it's likely that any similar POX or POM will be fine, so go ahead and order any of your choice, but likely isn't certain. It's your call, and no, I don't own any or every POX/POM manufacturer, but you know my parameters for choosing these. It's entirely up to you whether this is something you want to do and whether you want to wait or go for one of these. You're adults, you decide. Now, beloved got run 1, 96, 97, 95.5, 97.5, 97, 98, and run 2, 98, 97, 95, 96, 97, 99. Don't ask, I have no idea. I can hear you asking, how come she can't just get easy, consistent numbers like me? I have no idea. But hey, she's in charge of NHSIT for Britain. Okay, not quite. But if technology doesn't work right around her, maybe we should be scared. Or not. They weren't bad though. 96, 97, 95.5, 97.5, 97, 98, 98, 97, 95, 96, 97, 99. Knock out number 3 and we've got 96, 97.5, 97, 98, 98, 97, 96, 97, 99. Not bad, hardly precision, but 96 to 99 range, 97 average most likely. What's the problem? The problem is that what if you haven't done this testing and you know it could be 3 out, 96 to 99 range, and you get a reading of 96. Are you 96, 96 plus 3, or 96 minus 3? Which is 96, 99, or 93, 1 good, 1 excellent, and 1 at risk. That's not good, so you really want to get a handle on these numbers. Hey, by coincidence, that's what I do. So here's the runs analyzed. And let's focus on my first run. 6 devices, 7 including dupe number 5, and we see the primary result in the top row of the results, the oscillator in the second row, and the spare number 5 in the third. We'll take an average to get a single number for each device in the run, and on the right, we'll take the average across all devices. We've also got a simple number variation. That's how much the device wobbled, and you can see it's only by 1 max, which makes sense if it's choosing between 96.5 to 97 and 96.49 back to 96. So we can see that the devices give sensible readings both in and of themselves and with regard to a consensus of similar devices. But if we did want to be picky, we can also notice, was the disagreement, divergence, pessimistic, safer, or optimistic, riskier? A negative divergence is more cautious. It makes you seem less well or bloxed, lower SpO2 levels, like I said, bloxed. That's better than number 6, which was optimistic, giving a higher bloxed SpO2 reading. We still prefer accurate or consensus, for want of a scientific reference device, and number 1 and number 2, number 4 seem to deliver, with 5 okay, and number 6, Do that 4 times, twice for me, twice for beloved. And take the average for each number to get this summary. Bottom line, numbers 1 and number 2 had 0 variation, disagreement with itself. 4 to 6 had modest variation, and number 3 is ever most disagreement. The early model, go figure. Number 6 was the only one to consistently be optimistic, saying you're better off than you are, which is not ideal by nearly a point. Number 3 was conservative, 2.2 below on average. But do we really want a device where we're constantly thinking, but it's really 2.2 higher, which could be 2 or 3 higher depending on how they wrote the code? If I could only go by those tables, I'd choose number 1 or number 2 with 0 variation or and least divergence, both on the safe side, but very slight. Indeed, if we knock number 6 out of consensus, the optimist, those number 1 and number 2 numbers would drop still further. We don't need to do that. The point is, any of these devices will tell you your situation close enough for a sensible approach. But as you only need one, and basing my decision solely on these figures, I'd be going number 1 or number 2. But are there other considerations? There are aesthetically, but also practically, especially if you have kids, or you are a kid buying one for your parents. Hey, it's the era of ADHD. Fast-brain kids screwed up by slow-brain teachers. Another story for another time. So, how do we test for kids, given the complete absence for such in the house? I'm a kid, true, and my wife's a kid also, but both trapped in the bodies of OAPs, and I presume it's finger size that's going to be the issue. So hey, little fingers to the rescue, substitute kids, and my runs reveal a mild issue, and my beloved naturally totally destroys the credibility of both our favorite machine, number 1, the kids pop. Go figure. Here's my kids run, aka test on little finger. We're expecting 97.98, and notice how the averages for 4 and 5 are both down, 5 significantly, not ideal. And 3 is out as before, with 6 again the optimist, but actually 1, 2, and 6 all are due to 4 and 5's low figures. So yet again, we're down to 1 and 2 ideally. 6 is okay for kids, toned down a little from the optimist it is for adults, but I'd be going for 1 and 2. Enter my beloved. It's been a while since her first run, so we do a reference run above the ID numbers on her index finger and try for the pinky runs. And despite 8 or 9 tries, number 1 just will not give a reading. In the meantime, number 3 gives up on her. Number 6 got there in the end, but kept switching itself off. Number 2 is a fraction high. Number 4 is way high, +3. And number 5 is +2, which is still high. And ironically, number 6 is low, normally the optimist. Okay, so maybe her OAP skinny pinky isn't the best substitute, but it's a warning flag. And ironic that the only kids device doesn't work on a tiny skinny pinky. Ouch. Will it work on kids? No idea, but hey, I can ask my neighbor. What's interesting is that even the reference numbers are inconsistent. After a long day at her desk, exhausted. Right now, all I can say is perhaps wait until we have better data if you need a kid's model. Or go ahead, pick the one you like and help us by providing that data. We'll update you if our neighbor comes back with a yes, no, works fine, or not. By now, you're probably exhausted, I certainly am. With the kids caveat in place, our firm favorite for adults is number 1, the kids model. and it has a doody little heart display. We did a little summary of aesthetics, and you can see how number 1 scored top for both of us, followed by number 5, then number 2, then number 6. Number 4 just didn't appeal to either of us, and number 3 has the performance issue, understating by 2, as well as being blocky. They all work. They all do a perfectly reasonable job of giving you a key number, 2 if you want your heart rate. You're only going to need 1, so choosing between them is either, hey, what does it matter, or fine-tooth comb, as we've done here. There's only one other niggling consideration that we came up against, and it's doubly niggling, as I didn't figure it out until it was too late, and they were all mixed up. Does it come with a battery? Number 1 certainly does, yes, but it's a button battery, a flat disc. So if you do ever want to replace it, you have to find an unusual battery. The rest are AAAs, the ultra skinny standard batteries, and out of 6 devices, I realized I had batteries for 3 of them. Bear in mind we have a duplicate number 5 making 6, excluding the button battery number 1. And I can't tell you exactly which ones came with batteries. Number 1, yes, the button battery. Number 5, it says yes on the box and refers to insert the battery, as if supplied, even though it says no on the Amazon webpage. Number 3 insists it doesn't come with a battery. Number 6 says insert the and has packaging for a battery. Number 2 and number 4 have insert the but says no on the website. Bottom line, number 1 absolutely has a button battery supplied. The rest, sorry, my bad, have a couple of AAA batteries handy just in case. That's it. Decide based on its health appeal and you won't go far wrong. Its relevance to COVID-19 is unauthorized at this time, though viewers have sent several key video links, including a couple, which, if I remember, I'll include in the description. Cheers, I'm still Andrew Mather, a 60-year-old Brit, mathematician, financier, technologist, husband, biker, pilot, healer, whatever. Feel free to get in touch, andrew@peerlessreads.com or andrew@amather.com. Either should get to me.